Keir Starmer is angry again. Yes, folks, the Labour leader's frustrations are bubbling over once more, and this time he's facing off with none other than Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the exchange couldn't be more heated. In just a moment, we'll show you a jaw-dropping clip of Sunak tearing into Starmer and his shadow chancellor, Rachel Reeves, in a debate that has everyone talking. If you're ready for one of the most brutal takedowns in recent political history, stick around because this is one exchange you cannot miss.
Britain's poorest pensioners squeezed, welfare spending out of control, and a spree of tax rises they promised the working people of this country they would not do. National insurance, up. Capital gains tax, up. Inheritance tax, up. Energy taxes, up. Business rates, up. First-time buyer stamp duty, up. Pensions tax, up. They have fiddled the figures. They don't like it, Mr. Speaker. They don't like it, Madam Deputy Speaker. They have raised tax to record levels. They have broken their promises, and it is the working people of this country that are going to pay the price. Now, Madam Deputy Speaker, the Chancellor and Prime Minister have tried to say that they had no choice, but be in no doubt. Their misleading claims about the state of the economy are nothing but a cynical political device.
But hold on. If you thought that was the end of Starmer's humiliation, think again. Another major figure from the Conservative front, Robert Jenrick, has just weighed in, and let's just say he didn't hold back. Jenrick went live on air with a scorching critique of Labour's latest policies, and we've got every bit of it coming up for you next. Trust me, it's just as explosive as Sunak's takedown.
£40 billion of tax rises hurting people across this country. And just 3 months ago, the Labour Party won election on a pledge not to raise taxes. I'm afraid Rachel Reeves, who you've just interviewed, is acting like a compulsive liar. She said during the general election she wasn't going to raise taxes. She just has. She said she wasn't going to increase debt. She just massively increased debt. And then after the election, she invented that there was a black hole. The public will not trust this Labour government. They're making it up to justify immense tax rises. They're going to hurt the economy, hurt people's working lives.
Now, as if the drama wasn't intense enough already, the budget row took another twist, this time on GB News, where former Labour Minister Denis McShane shocked everyone with his comments on Labour's controversial tax hikes. That's right, folks. McShane actually defended the sweeping increases, going so far as to say they're not all doom and gloom. In his words, Labour's new tax plan is a step in the right direction, necessary to fund ambitious projects in green energy, artificial intelligence and housing. To McShane, these taxes are exactly what the UK needs to secure its future against economic challenges and environmental crises. But not everyone was convinced by McShane's rosy outlook. James Price, former Chief of Staff to Nadhim Zahawi, hit back furiously, warning that these tax hikes could lead to economic disaster. Price argued that Labour's tax-heavy budget is bound to scare off investors and high earners, forcing them to pack up and leave the UK. This, he claims, will devastate public services, leading to the exact economic crisis Labour insists they're trying to prevent. For Price, McShane's optimism about green investments and AI spending is nothing short of out of touch, a misguided fantasy that ignores the reality of what these tax hikes mean for working families. The argument heated up fast, with Price branding McShane's enthusiasm as naive. He went on to criticise Labour's priorities, saying they're chasing lofty ideals without regard for the economy's real needs. According to Price, these new taxes, combined with massive borrowing, are a recipe for disaster, one that could cost thousands of Britons their jobs and even risk a public service collapse. And he didn't stop there. Price warned that under Labour's new policies, the country could face years of sluggish growth and wage stagnation, while essential public services wither due to lack of funding. But McShane wasn't about to back down. Instead, he doubled down, calling the backlash over the budget typical doom and gloom, and insisting Labour's ambitious plan is necessary for the UK's long-term success. He claimed that these investments in green energy, tech and infrastructure were exactly what Britain needs to move forward and thrive in a rapidly changing world. And in a jab at Price and the Tories, he argued that Conservatives have done little to keep public services afloat in recent years. McShane even suggested that Price was just resistant to change, brushing off his critique as a knee-jerk reaction to Labour's more forward-thinking vision. Then, as if things couldn't get any more controversial, McShane pointed to Australia as an example, citing a recent move by one of their largest financial firms relocating to Britain as proof that the UK's economy is on the upswing. He boasted that Labour's investments were attracting international interest, painting a picture of Britain as a land of economic opportunity, provided the country embraces change. To McShane, the days of austerity under the Tories were a hindrance, and he welcomed Labour's spending as a much-needed fresh start after years of financial cuts. Yet Price was quick to hit back, accusing McShane of ignoring the harsh realities of increased taxation. He argued that while McShane spoke of a fresh start, these new policies could actually hurt everyday workers by shrinking their wages and even forcing companies to cut jobs. Price argued that the economic fallout from Labour's budget could last well beyond the next election, impacting families for years to come. As if Labour wasn't already under fire, Rachel Reeves herself made a stunning admission, openly acknowledging the potential downsides of the tax increases. She admitted that these hikes in national insurance could indeed impact private sector wage growth and confessed that she would never want to repeat such a drastic tax hike. Under her budget, the tax burden is projected to hit an unprecedented 38.3% of GDP by 2028, marking the highest tax load the UK has seen since the post-war period. Critics, quick to seize on her words, pointed out that despite Labour's promises to support working people, these tax increases make it difficult for average Britons to stay afloat in an already tough economy. The backlash to Reeves's admission was swift and severe. Many were quick to note that Labour's promises of support for the working class are on shaky ground as they implement record-high taxes. The £25.7 billion in national insurance hikes alone could hit companies hard, forcing them to make tough choices that may ultimately lead to layoffs and stunted wage growth for private sector workers. Labour's pledge to protect working people seems more tenuous than ever, as economic experts warn that Reeves's policies may have consequences far beyond what the party initially anticipated. So, here we are, folks, witnessing a budget battle like no other. Labour's tax-heavy policies, aimed at bolstering public services and driving green investments, are clashing head-on with fears of economic stagnation, job cuts, and a diminishing private sector. Sunak, Jenrick and Price are pulling no punches in their criticism, while Labour stands firm, leaving the UK deeply divided as this scandal unfolds. And if you're as captivated by this unfolding drama as we are, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and stay tuned, because this budget scandal is only just beginning, and we're bringing you every explosive moment